Hello, guys. This is your boy Leo, and today I've been telling you about my D1 story. Yeah. First off, I come from Mexico. I guess you can tell I'm a international student, sort of thing. I was born over there back in Guanajuato. Yeah, and one of my one of the things like I was really not into running back in when I was little because everybody else was just like soccer and this, soccer that. So I was like, well, I guess I'll do soccer as well. I was never a good soccer player. I was just doing it for the fun of it. And but I was known because I was short and I was actually pretty fast. And it didn't come along to like sixth grade when I went to my first track meet. It was I was doing the 100-meter dash, and yeah, I got dusted. But that was probably like my first experience with track and field and stuff like that and running. Then when I was 12, I decided to move from Mexico to the U.S. And one of the big challenges was like, of course, speaking English because you don't speak Spanish in school. So I decided I had to move and adapt to certain things, move into a different environment because I come from sort of the desert, and I was in a school where like soccer was pretty famous, and as I was driven by that same background that I was like, oh, I had to do soccer. So I was in soccer, and then one of my first experiences with actual like distance running was seventh grade tryouts. I was supposed to run the mile, and I remember taking off the first lap and eventually burning out little by little, but that was like my first experience running in because I had no experience whatsoever. I would like walk to school and I would call it like my workout, but I ended up running a 6:28 if I'm not mistaken as a seventh grader, and I was really content because I was like, whoa, I can run. And then it wasn't until like I was in high school that I actually got into running because I was in one of the top programs in the nation for soccer. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sam Houston High School, but one of the things that we were supposed to do for us to join the team was you were supposed to go to cross country practices after school every day from September to October, and that was like the first enlightenment of running for me, because I was definitely shorter than everybody. I'm actually like a really short person, and I was I was usually like I was just like, wow, I'm not a competition to these guys. But whenever I started running, it eventually happened that I was faster than guys that were like seniors and juniors, and then I just kept on dragging me like, oh, maybe I should do this. Then that kind of motivated me to keep on running because I was just faster than most of the people. And my freshman year, I was just running like the mile, and then I actually ran a 4:50 as a freshman. And but I didn't really like join full track till I was a junior. But in my sophomore year, it was just I did good in cross country. I was like the top guy, running 1650s, which was okay. Then I made it to regionals individually, but I got injured, so I couldn't go. Then going into track, I was just still in soccer, but then I didn't realize that I was just not supposed to be in soccer because I was just driven by that I don't know, that passion, if you call it. Then one day I decided, you know what, maybe I should do what's best for me, and then just decided to keep on running. That year I didn't really get a lot of training, but I ended up running a 4:38 mile with only like 2 weeks of training. Then going into my junior year, I was fully motivated to be in track and cross country. I ended up running a 15:59, no, that 15:46, and that was just in the region. And then that was like, whoa. And then I also find out that if the faster you run, colleges look at you. And that was also the year that I knew like I had to step it up because I wanted to go D1. I mean, who doesn't want to go D1? and I was not really like concerned about schools at the time. I was more concerned about competing and putting the effort into like running and stuff. Then going into track season, I actually ended up doing really good. I was about not to make it out of the district because I remember that same day, no, the night before district, I ended up getting a food poison, and I was gonna run. I did super bad in the 2 miles. I didn't make it out, and then running the mile, I ended up making it. I ended up winning my district. Then I moved into area, and then eventually I ended up all the way to regionals where I ran a 4:24, which was a really good thing. So the next challenge for me was going into senior year and like keeping that same motivation that I had the years before. And I also got noticed by schools. One of the first schools that came up to me was this school in schools in like North Carolina, and it's called Mount Olive. And it was like the first experience with a college and the recruiting process. And it wasn't until like the summer because I was doing so I was doing summer track as well that year, my junior year, and I ran the mile in junior Olympics. I actually made it all the way to the national meet in Greensboro, North Carolina. I ended up eighth, and that put me in a really good place for my senior year because now I was already like a big stage, so a lot of people knew about me, sort of. And that kind of came across my senior year because I was having some, not big schools, but I had a couple of schools looking at me and they're like, hey, I saw you doing this and I saw you doing that. And I was like, oh, cool, thank you. And then I came across like multiple races my senior year. I was just focusing on making sure that my team was doing the right thing, making sure everybody was on the same page. And I ended up running a 15:36 my senior year in cross country. I didn't make it a state. I actually ran it that time. I ran it at regionals and I got 24th, which is like, it was pretty shocking to me. I was like, wow, but it was okay. And then track season, I was already looking at some colleges. There was I got offers from University of Texas at Arlington, which is like from where I'm from. And I also had some school like UNT. I had Texas Tech. I had TCU and other. I also had the University of Miami and some other schools, but none of them were really that serious at the point. And then it was kind of like dragging me because I didn't have like a plan for college. And I came across Texas Southern University, where they told me like, hey, we don't have a lot to offer, but we would like you to come. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll give it a try. And then going into the visit at Texas Southern, I actually met some of my new teammates, Brian, Jose, and Alan and Efrain. They were all like, three of them were already signed, and then I was just me and Efrain that had to like, be part of the team, I guess. And it was like a really cool thing because like these guys really came from like doing something else, and then they decided to like come and meet me and Efrain for the visit. That made me feel like part of the team. And then going into like the final days of my senior year, I said like, you know what, I'm going to TSU. And I ended up running some okay times my senior year. I was running a 9:47 2 miles. I didn't really run the 800, and then my mile I ended up running a 4:19 as a senior. And then right now, like my only focus right now is just getting ready for the upcoming season. Make sure I'm doing the right things, and then make sure I can be there for my teammates, just like they were for me at the beginning from day one. And then yeah, let's not make this longer. This is your boy Leo, and this is my